the lovely Tania Davies is the success slow coach. She's an entrepreneur, she's a therapist and a speaker with 20 years success in a wide range of industries within the private and the public sectors. Tania brings evidence-based transformational slow leadership training and coaching to organisations and individuals looking to prioritise well-being and enjoy their life again. Tania is the founder of the Mindful Impact Wellness Hub, where she coaches clients in a capacity as a clinical hypnotherapist, a hypno-counsellor, a psychotherapist, a marketer, and Master of NLP. She is passionate about guiding busy professionals struggling with stress and anxiety to enjoy more success in the slow lane without the stress.
That's a long one, isn't it?
Oh, it's short compared to some of them. Tania, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much for agreeing to join me on this journey. And I look forward to your presentation. So take it away.
Oh, okay. All right. Do you find yourself rushing, in complete busyness, overwhelm? How about even constantly? And I do mean constantly. Answering the question, how are you? With, yeah, good, busy. If that's you, and I know as business professionals, we try to cram so much into our world. But what if, as a business professional, we could completely change that paradigm? Because I tell you what, busyness does not equal success. And this is something that over the years, I've absolutely had to establish for myself. Busyness does not equal success. In fact, success is simply achieving an aim or a purpose, a predestined aim or purpose. Now, that could be anything, anywhere in your life. It does not mention money or wealth. Interestingly, if I asked all of you, if you wanted to be successful, what would that mean to you? A lot of people that I've worked with over the years go, freedom and happiness. Because ultimately, that's what we're looking for. And as a coach and a therapist, I've had the pleasure of welcoming multimillionaires into my office. And I can assure you, they're not happy. Yes, they've achieved what society would call typical levels of success. But when they've come to see me, they are realizing that their pace of life and the pace of their thoughts is simply killing them. In fact, here's an interesting statistic for you. I bet you didn't know that one of the things that leads up to chronic stress is chronic busyness. And unfortunately, chronic stress is actually linked to the 6 leading causes of death. Now, that's astonishing. Chronic stress can be managed. But most people wouldn't have a clue that their high-paced, hyperactive lives is leading them down the road to chronic stress and burnout. But you know what? What I've noticed is that we're all a little bit too scared to slow down, too scared to find out what's actually behind all of our distractions, too scared to consider what other people might think of us if we slowed down. But most interestingly, we're too scared what it would feel like to actually achieve that freedom that we've actually all been craving. I realized this in my late 30s. I was on maternity leave for the second time in my life. And, you know, I was a high achieving, very perfectionist, controlling business professional. I worked in the corporate sector and I met all the society's expectations of having the car, the house, etc., etc. But what I was noticing is that life was a bit out of control. I was constantly out of breath all the time. I was never, ever feeling satisfied wherever I was at. And when I was on maternity leave for the second time, in fact, it was 8 years ago yesterday, that my husband had it was tragic accident. He fell off the roof and landed on his head and his wrists, a 3.5 meter fall onto concrete. That moment changed our world. At that point, I ended up having to be the carer for a 3-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 42-year-old for 6 months. In fact, he was off work for 6 months after that accident. And that hectic pace of our lives, the constant distractions and busyness, came to a grinding halt. It had to. We had to completely reevaluate and refocus our lives on what truly mattered. And achieving success in other areas became the priority. Happiness was a key success marker for us from that moment on. Not wealth, not how many activities we could cram into a week, not how many accolades we could get, and not how many rungs we could climb on that career ladder. Whilst they are important to some degree, I want you to really think about what's important in your life versus what's urgent in your life, because I can assure you they're very different things. And that complete reboot of our lives led me down that was the catalyst that led me down the path to establishing my own clinic, speaking career. Many things came from that moment. Now, I want you to imagine what would happen if the hectic pace of your life slowed right down. Would that scare you? Or would that give you the ability to rest, recover, become creative, truly breathe deeply? There are so many things that would happen in that moment of calm. In fact, one of the things that we found as a long-term effect of that complete reboot of our lives is that the joy lasts longer when you slow down. It's sustainable. Our life was not sustainable. And in fact, look, in hindsight, it was like the universe was tapping me on the shoulder. I'm sure it gave me plenty of warnings before this moment. But this was the slap across the face that our entire family needed to have to slow down. Now, there were ramifications of that slowdown. I did have to take a pay cut as I established my new business. There were many things that I had to let go of. The first one was my ego. You see, it's your ego that's keeping you stuck in the have-tos, the musts, the shoulds. So imagine your life without that rushing, without that overwhelm, where you get the opportunity to reevaluate your life on your terms and actually design a life that fits your values and your goals. It can be a very foreign place for a lot of you. I know, I understand. And I now coach so many people through that process, because it's not just coaching, it is coaching and therapy that need to come together to create that slowdown effect. And it's not all areas of your life. It's not. In fact, one of the things that I talk about a lot with my clients is strategically slowing down. And that's what I want to share with you now. 3 areas that I want you to focus on to start cutting through that overwhelm and give you an opportunity to start a reset. There are these three things that I want to actually take you through, because they're fundamentally important when it comes to that journey. The first area is strategically slowing down. Now, what does that even mean? It means I want you to pick areas of your life where small actions create big wins. It could be slowing down your eating. It's an incredibly simple process. But the reason you're eating so fast is a survival response. Slow down. That could be slowing your pace of walking as you move through the office. Slow and breathe deeper. It could be if you're in a position of leadership, it could be really strategically leading from the top and understanding that people's capacity to maintain a 60-minute meeting is incredibly limited. Reduce those meetings to 45 minutes with 15-minute recovery time, and you will maintain a higher level of productivity with your staff than ever before. This is strategically slowing down. Next, we want to actually breathe deep. Why? It's not some hippie guru thing. It is so fundamental to resetting your autonomic nervous system, completely resetting your body and taking it out of the fight, flight, or freeze mode and moving it very successfully over to a place of calm into your parasympathetic nervous system. This is the place where your body begins to rest and digest. And you may have noticed that there's a lot of people out there, especially high achieving, very successful people, that have got a low baseline level of anxiety that continues to build and build and build over the years. And they end up with chronic gastrointestinal issues, heartburn, tension, neck pain, headaches. Your body's signal to slow down. And when you reset with your breath, you give yourself the opportunity to move to the next stage, which is release. Release is fundamentally important because this is where we start to now talk about things that I would highly recommend you find someone to guide you, whether it be a coach or a therapist like myself, or somebody that you trust to be able to hold space for you to do the deep work that needs to be done. Because after all, the reason we have the busyness, the rushing syndrome, is because we're avoiding something. And only you know what it is you're avoiding. It's not the same for one person to the next. The distractions that we build into our life, the must-haves, the must-dos, which are just masks for the I don't want to deal with. This is the space where we have to deep dive into our world and go, what is it that's actually truly keeping us stuck? Because for you to achieve true success, now what does that even mean? That true success, that comes across all areas of your life: mind, body, soul, business, the whole gamut. Every single area is important to reset on. And the release component of that is where I want you to actually seek out assistance. That assistance needs to be able to hold you to be able to do that work. And as a busy business professional, you must strategically slow down and put this into your diary like it's your number one mission in life to reset, because you will become fundamentally more productive once you let go of that stuff that is anchoring you to your traumas of the past. And those traumas don't need to be big, huge success, moments where we commonly think. So, for example, it could be a car accident, it could be abuse. They can simply be any of those moments, those micro moments in which your subconscious mind has created a moment where it does not feel safe. And now you're bringing in all the distractions possible to avoid dealing with it. And it could have been from when you were 15, but you're still willing to hold it. It's time to let go. It truly is. And one of the things that I certainly noticed over the years of all the work that I do is that there is a pattern. And when we get to the point of having been through all the chaos and the confusion, the anxiety, the depression, the burnout, we come to a moment where we're confronted by a reality. And that reality is as simple as this: you are responsible for every moment in your life, whether that be success or whether that be failures. You are responsible for that. And so if you get to that point in your life where enough is enough and you're confronted by the idea that you are the only one that can take the next step, know that there are people out there to help you through that next step. But I want you to be brave enough to realize that going slow is the way to less stress and more success. Productivity comes when you've got the ability to create the space to think, to feel, and to experience life at a whole new level. And if you want to actually move into that space, then I I can share with you my details. I can share with you what it is to move through what I call the slow lane success system. It's a process that I've created over the years that I work with my clients on. You can see the details on the screen now. If you want to know how to move through the whole process of the slow lane success system, reach out so that you too can enjoy success in the slow lane. Thank you. And thank you, Rose, for the opportunity today.
Absolutely. I enjoyed that. Thank you. We all need to slow down. I think life has just become so busy. People think that doing more produces more, but trust me, it does not. It's that's the opportunity for making mistakes. It's for just getting things wrong and getting absolutely so stressed out because nothing just will go right. That's what I was doing this morning. I was rushing and I wasn't taking the time. I didn't slow down. And then once I slowed down, it all just came together.
It all just happened, right?
Yeah, it was
funny that.
so much better. Rather than just trying to hurry, because if you try to hurry to bake a cake, well, you might forget something, or you've overbeaten the batter, or something, and the cake is a flop. So
it's that classic line. You can't force a flower to bloom. It will happen when it's ready.
Absolutely.
But we're constantly forcing ourselves always to bloom.
Yes, and we don't need, and we have no one to impress. The only person we have to impress is ourselves. We don't have to impress Joe Blogs or Mary down the road. You don't do stuff to impress yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I loved it. Where can people, other than I've actually put a link to your Facebook page in the comments. So that
they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah, obviously, I work with a lot of business professionals, like our target audience today. Happy for them to connect with me on LinkedIn, absolutely. But also I'm on the common media sites, like I'm on Instagram and on Facebook as well.
Yeah, you can find Tania anyway. Just put her name in Google and she'll come up. Tania, thank you so much. I enjoyed your presentation. It was very enlightening and very knowledgeable, and it was just perfect.
Thank you so much, Rose.
Thanks. Bye for now.
Take care. Bye.